I love a challenge. I'm a competitor. I want to compete at the highest level.
Luke Campbell, the greatest ever amateur this country's produced. Now he takes on the biggest test in boxing.
Trust what you believe. Walk across the ice into history.
Everything that's happened so far has turned me into the man I am today. We all know how good Lomachenko is, but I just feel like I can go in there and beat him.
I know I'm going to get the win.
Luke, we are here at Sky Backstage. Not long to go now until you're going to be headlining pay-per-view on Sky Sports box office and facing pound for pound superstar Vasily Lomachenko. How does it feel being here, looking down there, knowing that's where it's all going to take place?
You know, I guess it's very exciting because this is what all boxers dream of. You know, we all dream of headlining shows, but somewhat on this scale, and who I'm fighting. You know, I'm fighting the elite of the elite. So I want to challenge myself. That's why I wanted to be a professional boxer. I wanted to see what I was capable of doing. I wanted to see what I could achieve, and this is a perfect test and a great challenge.
Many describe Vasily Lomachenko as quite possibly the best fighter in the world, unbeatable even.
They all get beat in the end, don't they? You know, sooner or later they'll get beat. I honestly believe I'll beat him.
The confidence is just 100% there.
Yeah, I'm confident in myself, in my ability. I'm confident in the 19 years I've put in this sport and always been dedicated and disciplined, and timing is everything.
I know I've spoken to you in the past, and this is an opportunity that you've been waiting for a long time. When it was finally announced, when you knew you were facing Lomachenko, what was the feeling? What did your family say?
Family said, it's your time. It's your time. This is your moment where you can make history. And that's exactly what we aim to do. You know, I found out on Twitter about the fight. You
found out on Twitter?
Yeah, as you do. As you do.
There's nothing like a bit of personal
nowadays, as you do. And I just thought, yeah, it is what it is. I was going to be fighting him a fight or two down the line anyhow, so why not just make it now?
Let's go back to when you won gold at the Olympics, because that was a massive turning point for you. What was that like? What did it feel like standing on the podium?
Just a dream come true, really. It's, you know, I'd visualise that moment as a young boy, loads of times stood on the podium, and then as I was a young lad, visualising that, I'd have myself in tears, crying of what that moment would be like. And then all of a sudden, I'm in that moment, and I am crying, and then I'm laughing, and I think it's the first time in my life I've actually cried with joy and happiness.
Did it almost feel like it wasn't happening to you?
Exactly. It was a very surreal moment because, like I say, when I visualised that moment most of my boxing career, and then all of a sudden I'm in it. So it's like, am I still visualising this, or is it real? And it took a hell of a long time for it to sink in. You know, a good year or so to sink in, I'd say.
You went back to Hull to an enormous, amazing reception. With that, though, I guess comes pressure. Is that how you felt? Is that right?
I guess it wasn't so much pressure. I mean, while we was in the Olympics, we was sort of in a bubble. You know, I didn't realise what everybody was doing on the outside world. The council, the city asked me to go to City Hall and have a reception, so I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit tired, but, you know, I'll come. And I thought there would have been maybe 100 people there, maybe a few people passing by, waving. And then as I was driving into the town, like, the streets was just filled, like, you couldn't walk on the pavement, couldn't walk on the road, like, people everywhere. And I asked the driver, I'm like, what's going on? Well, how come all these people are here? Well, I've come to see you. I'm like, whoa, no way. So anyhow, I went into the building and then went on top. And then I just seen everybody and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. I think for the first year after the Olympics, I really struggled in everybody knowing who I was, where I was, what I was doing, because I'm like a confidential...
You're quite a private person, aren't you? Yeah.
person. I've always kept my business to myself. Never been one to go out and about, shouting my mouth off. I've always kept myself to myself, always kept my business to me. And then all of a sudden, everybody knew my business, they knew where I was, they knew everything. And I guess it goes to your head a little bit, but after the first year of doing that, yeah, I struggled. I did struggle with everybody knowing who I was.
In what way, though? You said it goes to your head a bit.
Well, I mean, you go into all these events and, you know, everybody's taking pictures with you, and I guess you think you're a little bit bigger than what you are. I was certainly unsettled in not knowing who I was or what I was, if that makes sense. But it really took that year, I would say, to sort of settle down and just digest it all. And not be bothered about everyone taking pictures with you, or every time I walked into a place, everybody's eyes was on me.
How did your family react to it? Because that's all
I think we all
different
struggled.
for them, yeah.
Yeah, I think we all struggled a little bit because I was always at events doing things and like you say, going out. I sort of got to a stage where I didn't want to go out, because the second I go out and you just notice that eyes are looking at you. You just notice it, that all eyes are on you and looking at you, and I didn't like that. I felt uncomfortable. I wasn't used to it. I was shy.
It's alien, is it? It's not normal for...
It wasn't normal for me, because for me, I went to a tournament, the Olympics, but it was just like all the other tournaments that I've ever been to all around the world. But all of a sudden, this tournament, everybody knew who I was.
You turned pro to a blaze of publicity, didn't you?
Yeah.
A lot of high hopes on your shoulders.
Yep.
Has it turned out the way you expected, or not so much?
Not particular, I don't believe, because I only believe now in where I am in my career right now is where I finally got the right team around me. And I feel like for the first 4 years of my professional career, I was doing it on my own. And...
That's quite a lonely feeling.
Yeah, and I didn't do bad considering I did it on my own. But, you know, we made the decisions and I'm here today. You know, every decision and choice we make is where we are now. So I've done somewhat right, I guess.
You've done many things right. You have sadly experienced huge loss outside of the ring back in 2014 when your dad was diagnosed with cancer, Dad Bernard. How difficult was that for you in terms of your career, focusing?
Yeah, really difficult. I mean, when I first found the news out, you know, I was maybe only a year into my professional, and then I had to take some time out a little bit to digest it. And then I'd go back, and then I was training, and then I'd get some more news about my dad and stuff like that. And then, you know, I could count so many times on how many times I was sparring, and I was literally crying behind my gloves with frustration and sadness. So many times. And I just thought, I can't do it. I can't concentrate on this when I've got that in my mind, because I just wanted to go in the ring and I just wanted to get it. You know, I just wanted to get it, and I just wanted to feel pain, as weirdly as that sounds. Like a release, I guess? Yeah, I guess. You know, and there's so many times where I'd just be crying behind my gloves as I was sparring. Did you think about walking away and quitting? The only time I thought about quitting the sport, believe it or not, was in 2010, 2 years before the Olympics. So in 2008, I'd had the best career, the best year of my career ever. Won the European Championships in Liverpool, first British man in 47 years to do so. Didn't get beat once in that year. went on loads of international tournaments, won the ABAs, won everything. 2009 was the worst year of my career. I had an hand injury where I split a tendon in my knuckle in Kazakhstan. All the staff changed on the England camps, so there was all new coaches that was coming in, some that I didn't really get on with, I didn't gel with whatsoever, and I just hated boxing. I hated being away from I was homesick every week, and I was just in a horrible, miserable place, and just, I didn't...
What made you continue?
I didn't want to do it, but I was still training every day, even though I didn't want to do it. So there must have been something inside of me that just kept me training all the time, even though I was telling myself I don't want to do it. And I had the worst year of my career, and it was just sat around family, close friends, and just said, listen, you've worked your whole life for this. For you to give up now, 2 years before the Olympics, would be such a shame. And you'd probably living the rest of your life thinking, oh, what if? What if? And I've never wanted to live like, what if this? What if I'd have done that? What if I'd have put 100% in? You know? So I just thought, all right, okay, I'm going to give it all I've got. At this stage, I've hit rock bottom, and I'm thinking, well, I'm at the bottom. It's not so bad. And I'm dragging this pool into the house, ready to pump it up in the kitchen. She's running downstairs. It's too late, the baby's here, the baby's on the way, I can feel the baby's head. I'm like, what?
In your pro career in 2015, you fought Ivan Mendy. A shock defeat, shock points loss to Ivan Mendy. A lot of praise around you at that time.
Yeah.
And a lot of difficulty in terms of your personal life and what was going on.
Yeah.
You even said yourself that perhaps you shouldn't have been in the ring that night.
Yeah. Well, I guess I knew I shouldn't have been in the ring that night, but as a fighter, you never really want to back down from the challenge. Well, I particularly don't. You know, but so I just wish that someone would have said, listen, you don't need it, you don't need it. Let's pull out of this one.
Did you talk to anyone around that time?
No, I was on my own a lot. But I was feeling shocking, like, especially the week of the fight, the whole week of the fight. I was tired, I was drained, I was aching. I did like a 4-round spar the week of the fight as well. Oh, and I was terrible. I was a million miles to where I should have been.
Did you think about not stepping in the ring?
No, didn't. I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't wise enough. And yeah, I felt like I'd overtrained and I'd hit a virus and I was just down. Body was down. It's like the lights was on, but no one was in. I didn't want to be there. Didn't want to be in the ring. I just wanted to get it over and done with. I really learned a tough lesson when I didn't feel like I needed it. I learned just to realise that you can go on and fight another day. Ain't got to be today. If you're not feeling right, listen to your body. Listen to what you're telling yourself.
Well, you rebuilt and you got your world title shot against Jorge Linares in America. Again, an extremely hard-fought, close fight that was. Knocked down the second and you came back from that.
Yeah.
Many thought you'd won that.
Including myself.
Yeah.
I seen Linares fight in the UK 3 times. Then all of a sudden, I have to go fight the champion in his back garden in LA. And at the time where he's in his prime, he's in the top 10 pound for pound list. And I have to go over to fight him on his show in his backyard, where he's fought here 3 times in the UK. And then, oh, he gets to fight me, but I have to go to him. And again...
To add to that as well.
To add to that as well, yeah.
Your father passed away 2 weeks before.
2 weeks before the fight, and I didn't want anybody to know.
Why?
Because I didn't want them seeing it was a weakness. If they knew that the news, then they'll be thinking, oh, I mean, in respect for boxing, they'll be thinking, great, this can't be easy for him. is not going to be the same. This is an advantage to them in that respect because of me being sad and, you know, not emotionally into it. So I just didn't want to give them any more confidence or any upper hand in thinking that they can do that. So I just thought, do not tell a single soul.
Was there ever any doubt in your mind, any question of you not continuing taking that opportunity when you found out? Because
again, I'm on my own in Miami, no family around me, and then that happens. I knew the second my brother, I got a phone call off my older brother. I mean, I thought it was weird he was calling me anyhow because I know he wouldn't be spending his, wasting his minutes calling me overseas. So I thought, well, that's strange. And then obviously told me the news there, and you know, I just went for a long walk that night. Yeah, that was, so I got that news there. And then straight on top of that, a storm, hurricane, or whatever you want to call it, was hitting Miami. So I had to organise the full team. I had to rebook flights, rebook accommodation or find accommodation and sort everybody out then to get out of Miami a week earlier than expected. So then, so we was out of the Miami before the hurricane hit to get to LA.
how did you do all that?
I don't know.
Dealing with a huge loss, how?
I guess I had that much going on. I didn't have any time to sit.
Autopilot, I guess?
Yeah, I guess I didn't have any time to sit and digest it all. In hindsight, should I have fought that night? Probably not. I mean, every time I thought about it, I'd start getting palpitations and start getting little panic attacks. You know, I had to completely shut it out completely, and it was a real difficult time for me. I mean, it's looking out from the outside, you could see I've had a great, rosy career. Oh, he's the most successful amateur boxer in Great Britain history, and he's won this, he's won that, he's won the Olympics. You know, he's doing stuff, he's doing great things as a pro. But then when you talk about all this, it's like, whoa, I've had my battles. It's never been a straightforward road. It's never been an easy road for me, ever.
One thing that is a massive positive in your life is, of course, your family.
Yeah.
I met your little boys at the press conference. Your wife, Lindsay, you've got Leo and Lincoln, all the L's, Luke.
Yeah, all the L's.
Planned?
Yeah, all planned. Apparently, all planned.
It's like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
How important is it to have them around? Are they around much during camp, or do you like to close it off?
I'm away for training, and then I go home for the weekends, so then I get to relax and be with my family. And I guess that, you know, when times get tough, you know, they're the reason why, the extra reason why I carry on and do what I do. You know, the inspiration to go and I want to succeed in what I want to do in life and achieve my goals. And I also want to give them a good life and not them having to any worries. People say to me, oh, were you going to get your sons into boxing? So I'm not going to get them into anything. I said, that's down to them. I've done boxing, made all the sacrifices possible so they don't have to. But if they want to do it and they have love and passion for do it, then I'm 100% behind them to back them in whatever they want to do.
You helped deliver Lincoln, didn't you?
I was there.
I mean,
I was there somewhere.
Of all your achievements, yeah. that's a pretty big one.
Yeah. It's Lindsay dropping surprises on me. You know, 12 o'clock at night. The plan was to have a home birth, which I wasn't really keen on in the first place, but it's what she wanted, so I went along with it. And so she's like, oh, Luke, I'm feeling pains. This is at midnight. She goes, I think you best go get the pool out the garage and start pumping it up and then get some water in it. I'm like, oh, all right. So then I'm going to the garage at midnight and I'm dragging this pool into the house, ready to pump it up in the kitchen. She's running downstairs. It's too late, the baby's here, the baby's on the way, I can feel the baby's head. I'm like, what? Luckily, Lindsay's parents live a few doors down, so they both came round and they had a friend that lived, a midwife that lived round the corner. So then she came real quick as well and everything happened so quick and yeah.
Boom.
And that happened, yeah.
That's got to rank quite high on the old achievements. Moving to London, teaming up with Shane.
Yeah.
What does Shane add to your game, and what's it been like training with him?
He just brings the best out in me. He works on my attributes. I think I've upped my boxing in every department by working with Shane. I feel like I'm hitting harder than I've ever hit before. We cover everything. This is what I'm saying, why this is the first time where I feel like I've got a proper team around me. You know, everything's done, everything's professional. You know, first time in my career where coach is doing strategy drills, this is what we need to be doing, this is what we should be working on, and just, I've never had that, ever.
When you were an amateur, your dad said to you that you were going to be an Olympic champion,
Yeah.
you were going to win gold.
Never believed him, by the way.
You did it.
I did.
And he said when you turned pro, you'd be a world champion.
Yeah.
Do you now more than ever, you feel like that's
He didn't just say
realistic?
to me, I'm going to be world champion. He said to me, I'm going to have all the belts. So, as it happens, I'm fighting for 3 of them.
Do you believe, though, more so than ever, now is the time
Yeah.
that you can achieve that?
Yeah. Yeah, we all know how good Lomachenko is, but I just feel like I can go in there and beat him. I've got speed, I've got power, I've got intelligence inside the ring, I've got footwork. And don't matter how good you are sometimes, I just believe that, you know, you can get hurt, you can get beat.
Any nerves?
Yeah, of course. Of course, there's going to be nerves. It's the biggest fight of my career. You know, I'd be lying to you if I told you I'm not nervous. And, you know, we all get negative thoughts, natural, you know. But it's the difference in being successful and not successful is staying strong inside and following yourself, you know. And steaming on and going ahead and do what you're going to do. That's the difference.
So August the 31st fight night here at the O2, what happens?
I win. I win this fight. I've already seen it.
Wish you the best of luck, Luke. It's been a pleasure talking to you off limits.
Appreciate that. Thanks.
Come as you are, as you were, as I want you to be, as a friend, as a friend, as an old enemy.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.